That's me completely cheating in a 5K by wearing a super powered exoskeleton. This exoskeleton is designed to make running easier, which should help me run this race ridiculously fast. But before I attempt to cheat in the race, there's a few tests I want to put the exoskeleton through to see how good it really is. So let's head to the track for the first test. So this right here is the Densys X1 exoskeleton. This exoskeleton is designed with one thing in mind: making it easier to run. It allows you to save up to 50% energy, which makes racing a whole lot easier. The one problem? It is illegal to wear during a race. Anyways, I booted it up and immediately set it to boost mode, the fastest mode it has. For the first test, I'm gonna run an all-out 400 meters and see how fast this thing is for the first time. And even walking to the start line, I could already feel how strong it was. It's hard to tell on camera, but every step is like 3x boosted by the exoskeleton. For context, my best time in the last 2 years is probably like 68 seconds. Not a sprinter. Let's run this 400. So I got prepped to sprint a 400 and took off like a rocket. I could immediately feel how the exoskeleton was going to be powering me during the race. I really wanted to beat 68 seconds, and coming down the home stretch, I was feeling it a little bit, but I held it together and finished with a time of 65 seconds. First off, this thing was insane. I was running out of steam with 100 meters left, and this just kept lifting my legs for me. And thank you so much to Densys for sending me this and sponsoring the video. That is test number 1 passed, and now let's move on to test number 2. This is Isaac, and he's gonna be helping us with our second test. I'm letting him try on the exoskeleton to give his impressions.
I feel like the Terminator. It's really cool. I just felt something cinch up on my back.
Do some high knees, high knees.
Oh my gosh. I do have a running channel.
What's the channel?
Zach Levitt. New videos coming soon.
Isaac and I are about to race 100 meters. I'm gonna put the exoskeleton on. Isaac's gonna run in the Alpha Flies, and we're gonna see who wins. All right, guys, this is the race of the century. Isaac and Alpha Flies. She's gonna call us.
Get set, go!
Honestly, for this race, I was a bit nervous since Isaac low-key has some speed, but with the exoskeleton, I was getting propelled. I thought I had it, so I turned and emoted on Isaac, but he kind of closed the gap. When we turned to the replay footage, though, I just barely held him off, marking a great success for test number 2. We got the dub, got the L. Isaac and I actually have the same marathon PR, but mine's like 10 seconds faster. Let's go to the last test. And this one, potentially the hardest one yet, before we get to the race. For our third and final test before the race, I'm gonna be running up one of the steepest hills in my entire area and see how these react to the hill. Now, honestly, because these lift the legs so well, I think it's gonna be great for hill running, especially since hiking up hills is one of the best uses of the exoskeleton, as well as for older people who have trouble walking. First, I'm gonna run up the hill without the exoskeleton, get the time, and then repeat with the exoskeleton and see if I run faster. So first up, no exoskeleton, and pretty immediately upon the start, I could feel the hill instantly hitting my legs. I'm working super hard, but I had pretty low power cranking up this, but I managed to get up it in a time of 13.7 seconds. That hill is brutal. 13.7 seconds. Let's run it back in the exoskeleton. This, I actually think, is one of the biggest value props of this exoskeleton, but let's go find out. For run number 2, we have the exoskeleton on, and I'm pretty hopeful for the time since the exoskeleton was made for hills. I can pretty clearly feel it pushing my legs up this hill, and especially towards the end, I could feel that extra power. Final time, 12.4 seconds. That was actually crazy. I was getting lifted up. All 3 tests are complete. This honestly makes me the most confident for the race because there was a massive hill the first mile of the race. But now let's go ahead and cut to race day and let me see if I can cheat to run as fast as possible in this 5K. We're at the race with the exoskeleton, and it's time to put this thing to the test and see how fast we can run a 5K. Let's put it on and then get ready to race. I threw on the exoskeleton, and pretty quickly, I was already getting some looks. Is it too obvious, or? Now, there's a bunch of different modes, ranging from Boost to Aqua Plus, which gives you insane resistance, but you guys already know what mode I'll be using. I'm instantly putting this thing to boost. I don't know what's gonna happen. Then I ran into my friend Ryan from a previous video and I had to get his take. Thoughts on the exoskeleton? Are you intimidated?
Maybe a little bit.
Just like that, it was time to race. This was a gigantic 5K with almost 3,000 people running, and I was hoping no one would question the exoskeleton. But then these dudes seemed really interested. This thing's gonna make me run super fast.
I'm looking like a robot.
It was almost go time, and the start area was filling up with a lot of fast-looking dudes. I haven't raced in about 6 months, so my goal is just to break 18 minutes. With the exoskeleton's help, I'm hopeful. But now, let's start the race. Let's go. So the race was off, and immediately on the start, there was this uphill for the entire first half mile. Luckily for me though, I was cheating with the exoskeleton, which made getting up the hill a lot easier than normal. Pretty quickly, the race was filtering out, and by the time we were getting to the top of the hill, I was in about 7th place or so. I could hear everyone breathing heavy around me from the hill, and I felt relatively good considering we just climbed like 100 feet. Like I said before on the hill test, the exoskeleton's greatest strength is climbing hills. So I was super thankful for the boost during that first half mile, which put me in a bit better position than everyone else. So at this point, I knew the first mile split would be a bit slow just because the hill will slow you down. And sure enough, when we hit mile 1, it is a 5:51, which is just a bit behind the goal for running a sub 18-minute 5K. However, the course is an out and back, so I knew we'd be running down that same hill we came up when we were coming back. And honestly, the exoskeleton was pushing my legs so much in boost mode that I felt still pretty strong as we were starting to get into the meat of the race. The constant propelling from the exoskeleton made it tough to slow down. It kept propelling me to run faster and faster. I was feeling pretty good as we approached the 2nd mile mark, and I was hanging with the top female in this race. My plan was to sit until mile 2 and then go as hard as possible the last mile. I hit mile 2 in a 5:43, and I knew it was go time. Thanks to the exoskeleton, I knew I had another gear to crank up to, and we had this little pack of 3 that I wanted to emerge out of as the top. With only a few minutes left in the race, I knew that if I started to move faster, the exoskeleton would match my speed through its AI, so I made my move and took the lead of our 3-person group. Now, unfortunately, this other dude, Jack, matched my move and actually started to open up a gap on me, but I had one last insane move in my arsenal. See, I always thought that the exoskeleton would be at its absolute best on uphills. But as we made our way back to the beginning, the big uphill became a big downhill. I hit mile 3 in a 5:25, and the exoskeleton was helping me kick down the final stretch in 4:30 mile pace. The course was a bit long as I came through 5K in 17:20 on my watch, and I simply couldn't believe how fast the exoskeleton was helping my legs move as I kick it home to finish out this 5K race. Well guys, we officially cheated a 5K with an exoskeleton. Ran pretty quick, and that's the video.